One of his books is called The Van Gogh Blues. I picked that up. One day I just couldn't get out of my own way. I can dig a big hole and drag myself into it just as easily as anybody else. And I just was looking through the back of the book and I found something and I dug into the book and he was talking about how, and you talk about cyclical, how cyclical the creativity of art is. And that things we've all heard of, black and white, yin yang, you know, nature, the seasons of the year. So apply it to art and apply it to our creative process. And you cannot maintain that outward flow of creativity all the time. That you need to have the quiet times to support the creative times. However, we talk about a writer's block, an artist's block, a slump. These are all negative words. We shouldn't be looking at it as that. This is the winter time, the fall and the winter. This is a time for us to be taking in so we can put out. It changes your whole way of thinking about the cyclical nature of painting. So that's where I have been able to say to myself, it's okay. I've got a couple cycles. One cycle is a 3-month cycle. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, when I'm painting, when I first started painting, every 3 months, I keep a log of inventory of my paintings. The ones that were good, and I would have a burst of paintings every 3 months, and then I would have paintings I'd still be painting, but they weren't worthy to go into my inventory. There were pieces I was destroying, I was working over, that weren't finished, etc. So I have a 3-month cycle of, and so it's like, for instance, knowing that I'm in one of my creative points right now after the holidays, January, I don't schedule anything. This is when, except this, this is when, but this is in the afternoon. Notice?
Mhm. Yes.
Um, so I protect that. So January and February are really important times for me to paint. There's nothing going on outside. There's nothing pulling me out there. This is good time for me to be in my studio. No workshops, quiet time. And then I have a daily cycle. Morning, I'm on. I'm off the early afternoon. I come back on late afternoon, but that's when it's getting ready for dinner, family, socialize, etc. So this is my time. And so I'm not trying to paint in the afternoon when I'm not going to be successful. That's time for me to take a nap, for me to take in. And when I start with my paintings, when my paintings I start to struggle too much with them, time to go to a gallery, time to ask a friend to meet me for lunch at the MFA in the city, time to pull one of my many art magazines out or art books, time for me to just scribble in my sketchbook. And instead of beating myself up, and if I can save somebody from having to do that and from doing that to themselves by passing this on, again, coming from Eric through me to you, it's because that would be my parting statement, is to be good to yourself. Look for your cycles, look for and eliminate the negative words when you're not being able to create as much. Take care of yourself then. Take in.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So beautifully said.